bumblebees because we can completely control their experience and see how that alters the architecture of their brain. And we do this in what we call the bee matrix. And here you have the hive. You can see the queen bee, that large bee in the middle there. Those are all her daughters, the eggs. And they go back and forth between this hive and the arena via this tube. And you'll see one of the bees come out here. You see she has a little number on her? Yeah, there's another one coming out. She also has a number on her. Now, they're not born that way, right? We pull them out, put them in the fridge, and they fall asleep. And then you can superglue little numbers on them, right? And now in this experiment, they get a reward if they go to the blue flowers. Okay, and they land on the flower. They stick their tongue in there, called the proboscis, and they drink sugar water. Now, she's drinking a glass of water that's about that big to you and I. We'll do that about 3 times and then fly. Right? And sometimes they learn not to go to the blue, but to go to where the other bees go. So they copy each other. They can count to 5. They can recognize faces. And here she comes down the ladder, and she'll come into the hive, find an empty honey pot, and throw up. And that's honey. Okay? Now remember, she's supposed to be going to the blue flowers, but what are these bees doing in the upper right corner? It looks like they're going to green flowers. Now, are they getting it wrong? And the answer to the question is no. Those are actually blue flowers, but those are blue flowers under green light. So they're using the relationships between the colors to solve the puzzle, which is exactly what we do. So illusions are often used, especially in art, in the words of a more contemporary artist, to demonstrate the fragility of our senses. Okay, this is complete rubbish. Okay? The senses aren't fragile. If they were, we wouldn't be here. Okay? Instead, color tells us something completely different, that the brain didn't actually evolve to see the world the way it is. We can't. Instead, the brain evolved to see the world the way it was useful to see in the past. And how we see is by continually redefining normality. So, how can we take this incredible capacity of plasticity of the brain and get people to experience their world differently? Well, one of the ways we do in my lab and studio is we translate the light into sound. And we enable people to hear their visual world. Okay? And they can navigate the world using their ears. Here's David in the right, and he's holding a camera. On the left is what his camera sees. And you'll see there's a line, a faint line going across that image. That line is broken up into 32 squares. And each square, we calculate the average color, and then we just simply translate that into sound. And now he's going to turn around, close his eyes, and find a plate on the ground with his eyes closed. He finds it. Amazing, right? So not only can we create a prosthetic for the visually impaired, but we can also investigate how people literally make sense of the world. But we can also do something else. We can